Okay, so today we are doing percents and figuring out if it's less or more than 100. So our first question is, what is 150% of 44? Do you know how to solve this and what equation you would use? So you have part over whole equals n, which is your percent, over 100. So if it's 15% of 240 is our example, you have n over 240 equals 15 over 100. And your 240 becomes your 2.4. So this is 150%. So we have n over 150% equals 50. No. So n over 44 equals 1.5 over 100. How do you think you would solve this?
Multiplying the percent
So you have to change 150 into a percent. So you're going to take your n and put that over your 44. And then you have 150 over 100. So your 44 is going to become your 4. Try your multiplication out. You need to multiply. So try. What are you going to type? Do 1.5 times your what? It's out of what?
4.4.
Not 4.5, be 44. Because it has to come out to be less than that. What's your answer?
60.
66. Okay, so write 66. There we go. Awesome job. So your second question is, what is 0.15% of 350? So you have your n, and your n is going to go over your 350, and then you have that equals 0.15% over 100. Now your percents are always out of 100. So what do you change for this one? What does your 15%, 0.15% change?
Yes.
To what?
1.5.
1.5 times what? What's it out of?
350.
350. And what's that equal? $5.25. Okay. Get it right? You need help. Let's see what we did wrong. So let's try not changing. Let's try leaving it your 0.15% and see if you just did 15%, they might have tricked us on this, but we might not have had to change it. It'd be 0.15. Do you have 0.15? So it'd be 0.15 times 350. What'd you get?
52.5.
52.5.
.15 times 35.
Can try that, yes. It's the same answer, right? So a hint would be, consider how you could scale 100% of 350 to 0.15% of 350. An equivalent ratio may be helpful here. So what do you think the equivalent ratio would be that we can use to solve 0.15% of 350? So we would have our n over 350 equals blank over 100. What do you think we would put over 100? So we can put our 0.15 over 100. So since we have 0.15, we have to move our decimal over. So we can do 15.0 times 350. Put a 0, instead of 15.0, do 0.015 over times 350. So 0.015 times 350. And what's our answer?
5.25.
So it's gonna be
0.525.
0.525. So we just had our decimal place wrong. That's all we had with that one. They tricked us with our 0.15%. So it's another one we say. What is 0.4% of 168? So we have n over what? What's it out of?
160.
And what percent is it?
0.4.
Okay, over 100. So n over 160 equals 0.4 over 100. So what are we going to multiply by? What are we going to multiply by? So we're going to have
0.4 times 168.
0.4 times 168. But we have to make sure our decimal is in the right spot. So what do you do when you get 0.4 times 168? Times what? 168, right?